And we're back with Bruce Johnson. The book is called Surviving Deep Waters. It's about his life. And Mr. Johnson back once again today joining us. Thank you once again.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate you calling me Mr. Johnson.
Because you owe me money.
Only people that I owe money to call me Mr.
Talk about, you said there are bombshells in this book. Talk about that a little bit and what you hope the lessons are from that.
Okay. In the title, we talk about my mother's deepest secret, okay? I'll tell you, that secret is that the guy that I grew up thinking was my natural father turned out not to be my natural father. And my mother knew this all along. And she hid me within her family. She told me while I was a reporter here in Washington, she came to visit, and he was already dead. So my natural father didn't know about me, and I certainly didn't know about him. The guy I thought was my natural father never lived with us. He had abandoned us. So I'm thinking I'm fatherless for the most part. So I did what a reporter does after she told me. I pursued that story, and I now know who he was. I know a lot about him, and I've met my siblings on that side of the family. It's all laid out there.
What was that like for you, meeting them?
Well, for half a day, because she told me right before I went into work, for half a day I was very upset about it. I wanted to punish her. I mean, how could you? You know, all these things I've done without because I didn't have a father, and I'm seeing these other kids who had fathers, and I know how it impacted them in a positive way, and I knew what I was missing, at least I thought I did, not having a father. So that didn't last longer than half a day. My friend and anchor, Gordon Peterson, he felt more pity for her than for me. He talked about her courage. I mean, you know, to keep me in the family and not take some measures, you know, that wouldn't have me sitting here talking to you now. And so I just admired her courage. I admired, you know, the more I learned about the story of all that she had been through. I sit here and I talk to you. I have no resentments toward anything, toward anybody, because she paid my fare. She and my grandmother, they paid my fare and allowed me to not only succeed, but in some instances to thrive.
You talk about in the book about covering news in the D.C. area, and you mentioned in particular Marion Barry. It was tough covering him. Why is that?
Well, it was tough, but a good kind of tough. It was exciting. I mean, Marion Barry was the story. You know, we're sitting here in Prince George's County. A lot of people that live here in Prince George's County are doing quite well. It's because of Marion Barry. When he came into government, he says in his own book that he had to integrate every agency of city government because blacks couldn't go work in these places. And we're not just talking about the entry-level jobs. We're not just talking about the middle management jobs. We're talking about cabinet level, people who are qualified, people who had done the work and gotten the degrees and the experience. So it was exciting to cover Marion Barry. I mean, there were times we were very good friends. Our sons went to preschool together. He'd been to my house. I'd been to his house. Of course, then, when all the controversy sets up, you know, now it's all hands on deck. Everybody's backed into their corners. Media's over here. I'm a part of that. Marion's over here. He's running from us. And we're chasing him, you know, notwithstanding all those good things I just said. But here's the thing that I always tell people about Marion Barry. I'm the only journalist that he wanted to speak at his funeral. I'm the only journalist who spoke at his funeral. That tells you what my relationship with Marion Barry is about. Because I'm going to tell you the whole story, not just the sensational part, not just, you know, the guy was huge. There hasn't been another political figure as big, and probably will never be in D.C.
Okay, so once again, as you can tell, our time is up for now. Surviving Deep Waters is the book by Bruce Johnson, and I think you'd like to get people to buy this book. Correct?
It's a good book. Yeah.
All right, well,
I'd buy it.
Okay. Thank you.